Alright, so the next thing we're going to want to do is create our interface controller board. What you can see is this is the interface controller board. You can start to see the magnitude, the size of this thing. You know, I'm just putting my thumb up here, or my index finger. It's a pretty small little board. Don't let that be intimidating. It's pretty easy to solder to. What we're going to be doing first is getting some pads ready for us to install some resistors. What's going to actually happen is we're going to install resistors across these two little pads right here, here, and here. There's 5 resistors in all. And what we're going to do is we're going to tin the pads on one side, and we're just going to flow a little solder to them. That's all this is. Like that. That's fine there. Sometimes, if you don't wait long enough for your soldering iron to heat up, it will take a little bit to get the solder to flow and to heat that pad up adequately. However, you don't want to hold it on there for too long because you can damage the pads. Okay, we've got 3 of the pads done. It always makes it a little harder to not shake when you're on the drawing board. Here's what will happen sometimes. You'll actually get a little solder swipe across another pad. That's okay. I'm just removing a little bit of the excess solder here. So we'll move that off. A wire is actually going to pop through that hole a little later, so that's really not that big a deal. And we got one more to do. So add just a smidge of solder to that. It's a little ball right there, so we want to heat that up so it lies flat. So you can see we tinned half of each of those pads. Right, there was 5 places. This again is a little boo-boo. Don't worry about those. You're going to get those as you go. The main thing is, again, to make sure that you got a good hot solder joint so the solder flows. Don't leave the soldering iron on there for too long. And also, if you get a little ball like that, we want to heat it up so it actually adheres to the plate, because that's just the solder sitting on top of the pad. Now that we have the 5 pads prepped, what we're going to actually do is we're going to put our resistors onto the board. I'm going to go ahead and just add just a little more solder to some of these spots here. If you ever have a little bit too much solder on your gun, make sure you just kind of flick it off onto your hard surface. That'll make it easier for you. Alright, so it looks like we're ready to go.